So the first part of Evaluation 7 is to discuss our prelim, which we filmed as a group. This was the first piece of footage that we created and the first thing that we filmed. It was just essential to include the key techniques of match and action, the 180-degree roll, and shot reverse shot. So this is our final finished prelim that we decided to upload to our blog.
So I'm playing it now.
Yeah? Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Good, thank you. How are you? Yeah, I'm alright. I just haven't done the blog post. If only I had someone like me to do the work for me. Well, I'm not doing it for you, and next time, don't wear the same outfit.
Right, so we had many problems when creating this prelim. One of our problems was
when I was walking through the door. So at first we found that the door was more slow moving than we first thought. So when we came to create the match and action, it wasn't shutting at the correct time, so it's really hard to make the cuts fit together.
So we had a continuity error because we had to refilm that to make it not flow.
Yeah, we just had a big jump in between when you closed the door and when you walked, and like the hand was in a different position.
Yeah.
You can see that errors improved now, but if you watch it carefully, there is still a slight jump in the cut from when she opens the door to when she's walking and sitting down. It was vastly improved, but if we were to do it again, I think it would be even better.
But I think now, because we've filmed more together as a group, like we realise, like we've learned a lot of lessons from
and
the
through
prelim.
editing, we know how to do the match and action better, and it would be 10 times better than what the prelim is.
I think we'd be able to spot it easier because this is the first piece of editing that we'd ever done.
We didn't even really know what we were doing.
No.
I feel like we've got more experience into that
exactly.
editing process.
Definitely.
I also think as well that when she sits down and play it, there's also a slight error in, I don't know if you can see it, but it just doesn't look
Hi, how are you?
like he
Good, thank you.
we
How
had
are
to
you?
refill one
Yeah.
specific shot, and you can.
There's a jumper in the background, I've just noticed,
Yeah.
I think.
I never saw that before.
Never saw that before, I've only just noticed it.
Oh, should we play that back?
I'm alright. I just haven't done the blog post. If only I had someone like me.
No.
But it's further back, I think.
We'll try that again.
Yeah, there.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm alright. I just haven't done.
So to explain that story is that we filmed the first prelim, which was
It wasn't very good.
it wasn't very good, so we decided to scrap it and refilm it again. We then filmed it for the second time, and it was okay, but then we had to make sure that we were still wearing the same outfits to create so it was seamless in terms of continuity editing. So in order to do that, I just brought the jumper with me and then changed to film the prelim. But now we've just realised, which we haven't noticed before, that there's a jumper in the background, so it kind of distracts away from what's going on screen. So, but yeah, you can tell from that shot specifically, my shoulder looks slightly different clothing, so it doesn't look as perfect as it should. But I think that's something we'd only notice because we've done the work. So it's the same colour, so I don't really think it matters as much.
I think another thing for us girls is that we like to get everything like 100%. We really want it perfect. So we overcomplicated this prelim, and really it should have been so simple. We tried to create a really good narrative, and it really just wasn't worth it for the beginning part of the coursework.
Like, as you can see, we've used that the twins, it's like supposed to have a narrative as if they're like stealing each other's work sort of thing. But now, like looking back, we should have just done it as a conversation because it's too overcomplicated.
I think now we realise like simplicity is key, so we've realised that
Definitely.
like
Just needed to include the key features that we needed to do. Keep it simple, get it done like to a professional look, rather than confusing it more than we needed to do. If we continue to play it.
Blog post. If only I had someone like me to do the work for me. Well, I'm not doing it for you, and next time, don't wear the same outfit.
Also there, where I exit the chair, I think the shot's really short, So because I'm not
The
used
next
to the
time, don't
chair,
wear the same outfit.
I think I caught my leg as I walked out. It's really, really short, so that looks a bit disjointed as well. So I think if we were to redo it, we'd carry the shot on so you'd see me completely exit the
Yeah.
frame before we end the prelim.
Yeah.
Is
Is there any more problems that we faced? I know our teacher had to show us how to do the match in action.
Yeah,
Yeah, we tried it a couple of times, couldn't get it right.
I think that was really beneficial to see though, to actually physically watch someone else do it and have a different perspective of
And
having opened the door.
yeah, him telling us when to stop the cuts, then like put them back together. He really helped us sort of start the process of it. Really.
Yeah, I'd just say the main problem was the match in action, but we managed to, after refilming,
Overcome it.
overcome that problem. Yes, I think that's everything. That concludes our discussion on the prelim.
Yeah. This is the second part to our evaluation 7, where we're going to be talking about our first cut.
So Amy and I will be talking about the first half, and then Jordan and Abby will be talking about the second.
So the first problem that we faced was our credits. As you can see here, it says film by Amy Martinson, but when you actually watch a film, it doesn't say film by, it says director of photography. So we had to edit and change like these. So as you see in our final cut, they're different.
So the second piece of feedback we received was in this shot we actually cut Abby's head off. So in our final cut we decided to make a change by taking the shot out completely because it didn't add to the atmosphere created. As well as the narrative being confusing for the viewer was another piece of feedback we received. So in our final cut, we decided to make it clear of what was past and present by putting like a colouring onto this scene, so now this scene can be seen in black and white.
So one of the positive feedbacks that we received was how we used different angles and different camera shots like within this scene. So we used a point of view shot, we used high angle to make her look vulnerable. So we also used close framing. So that was one of the best bits of feedback that we got because of all the shots that we did use. And also we have had to make them a bit shorter because we did get told that our cuts were a little bit too long. So now in the final cut they are a bit shorter, like easy to watch.
A piece of feedback for this shot was you actually can't see what Abby's thrown into the lake. So our first idea was it's meant to be the cable ties that were restricting her, but because they were clear, you actually can't see them being thrown into until they hit the water. So we decided to take that shot out completely in our final cut, just because it made it more confusing for what the viewer was seeing. That's the first half of our first cut, and Abby and Jordan will be talking about the second half. Another piece of feedback that we received, which was positive, was the fact that we used 2 different locations. So this enhanced our narrative in the fact that we had the first location, which you can see here, of being a derelict abandoned building to show that our main character, played by Abby, has been captured. And then the other location, which is like the forest and the field landscape, shows that she's escaped and is free.
another bit of positive feedback which we got was the tracking shots that we used of her feet, which you just see walking across. Everyone said they really liked that and thought it was really engaging for them to keep their eye on.
A negative bit of feedback that we received is the shot of her hand ties being restricted on the wall. Looking upon it now, it didn't really add anything to the storyline and it seemed just a bit odd and out of place, so we've cut that shot now completely because it just didn't really fit with the theme that we were going for our opening thriller.
I think another bit of negative feedback which we got is from running through the forest, everyone said that them shots were too long and pointless, like we didn't need all of them, so in our final cut we have actually taken some of them out and it does emphasise the storyline better not having so much running.
Especially this one, you've just seen where she's run back, we've just seen her run forward, so I don't think it's necessary for us to do that because I think what we didn't realise is when you're watching it how quickly like a human reacts to watching something, so it's just not really adding anything, so we just took that out. I think another piece of feedback we had was there was an idea that we wanted to include daffodils but it didn't really make sense, so when we were showing our teacher they asked us the question of why is it there? And at the time, we kind of didn't really know the answer ourselves. We had to then go back as a group and discuss what we wanted our narrative to be. But in the final cut that we produced, this is kind of all explained.
Yeah, it does all make sense. Another bit of negative feedback which we got is, well, we as a group we wanted to. Where did we get the inspiration from? Harry Potter. In the Harry Potter film, they could include a silent scream, which we thought, oh, that would be really good to use. But in actual fact, in our feedback, they said that we should include the scream to make more of a connection with the audience. So that's what we've changed in our final cut.
And then that's the ending of our thriller opening, and that's a positive bit of feedback we had, because I feel like when receiving the audience feedback, that's something they really enjoyed, and the fact that it's like the black kitten scream, it's like it appears that she's been recaptured, and then it fits the codes and conventions of a thriller, because they're wanting to know
That concludes our analysis of our first cut of our thriller.